Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Bulgarian workout. And the squats felt a little heavy today, so I decided not to pull today as far as the trap bar deadlift goes, because I did it 3 days in a row and I felt my bar speed was down a hair on my squat. I may go ahead and do it tomorrow though, so that I get 4 full days in of at least trap bar deadlifting for triples. Because again, I won't have to be as fatigued the next day on Sunday because I don't do as much training on Sundays. So yesterday I put up the footage of me curling, and honestly guys, I put that up really, not caring. I was expecting a lot of negative comments, and I didn't get nearly as many negatives as I thought. Now a lot of people are like, well Jason, but you ban trolls and stuff. Yeah, I do, but I didn't have to ban very many trolls in that video. Like, I was actually surprised. I thought I was going to have to ban about 20 trolls. I didn't have to. Although a lot of the people who were already banned, it looked like they commented, because I had about 10 comments when only 2 were visible. And when you guys see that, if you see that in my comments, a bunch of comments that appear to not be there, it's people I've already banned. They just keep trying to comment, and YouTube counts the engagements, and it actually benefits me as far as ad revenue and everything else goes. So it's really hilarious that banned trolls just keep wanting to pay you. They want you to make more money. I mean, that's ultimately, their job, I guess, at the end of the day. Is like goofy ass Elgin says, are your unpaid interns. But back to the point. Yeah, I mean, that went better than expected. And I did have one coach look at it who I know, who actually, he ballparked my body fat, and it's a lot lower than I think it is. So I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to wait till I get a DEXA scan, and hopefully that falls through this next week. I'm going in with a bro of mine who's getting a good deal on a package, and as long as that doesn't fall through, it should be a done deal, because I'm getting them really cheap. So I'm pretty happy with that. Like, I don't mind getting one every 3 months or so at that cost, because that'll give me a real good idea of where I'm at, how I'm progressing. At that price point, it's a valuable tool, and I'm paying less than $100 a scan. That's a valuable feedback tool that I think all of you guys will enjoy, and it will help me really figure out where I need to be in terms of overall strength. It'll let me know how much muscle I'm gaining, how much fat I have at any given time. It'll allow me to track my progress a little more meticulously. So yeah, I mean, that could be a valuable tool. So I'm going to do that, and then, obviously I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, I mean, I think I gave people a better idea of what I actually look like. Again, I mean, a lot of people noted it's not what they expected me to look like based upon seeing me in clothes, and you know what, that's okay. I can see how that happens. Just because of my structure, I look different in clothes. But that's on camera a lot of times too, versus how I maybe look walking down the street. You guys got to remember, like, even this GoPro I'm using in here, I do that because I have a better field of view. It's hard to set up a camcorder in this bedroom at the angles I need to film my training, and so I've got a fisheye lens on here. So it gives me a better wide angle view, but I do think it sometimes maybe distorts how I look. And I'm not saying I don't have the loose skin and extra fat, I do. But we'll see how all that goes. But yeah, the training today, the bench felt a little heavy, and I feel like my triceps are getting really fatigued. And I think it's because I'm just subjecting them to more pressing than I have been. So because I'm doing multiple lifts every day that involve the triceps to a training max, because people need to remember, even the chin up involves the long head of the tricep. It's one of the reasons, one of the many benefits of the chin up. While I tell all these kids chasing aesthetics, get strong at weighted chin ups, man. It'll help you guys so much with your goals, because it involves so many muscles like that. So it's not just the bench, it's the fact that I'm doing the standing press every day and then the weighted chins. And I mean, I've gotten stronger on all that, but I feel like my triceps just really get fatigued later in the week. Like, I notice it a lot. And I really noticed it after that failed bench the other day. Until I get that day off from pressing on Sunday, because I don't do any pressing on Sunday, I feel like my triceps just feel so beat up throughout the week. The fatigue just starts to accumulate. And I noticed it today, it made benching fairly difficult. Like, this was, even though I've dropped the weight back and everything else, this felt higher than RPE 9. I mean, it wasn't a max, meaning I could grind out more than this right now. But today, I put it at RPE 9.5. So it's higher than 9, meaning I wouldn't have been able to go 30 pounds heavier than this today. So it's not going to be, a 90% max. Man, I would say today I probably could only have ground out 10 pounds more than this as an absolute max. And it's my triceps are just reaching that point. So, I did my 315 here. And again, that was a brief pause. That would have been borderline meat legal. But, you know, is what it is. I might need to work more and more on the pauses instead of increasing weight. I think that would be a good idea. I might need to work more with longer pauses with 315 rather than increase the weight anytime in the near future. I can get pretty strong just getting more explosive and pausing more and more with the 315 and then increase from there. Chin-ups were good today, though. I like my bicep is doing so much better. That tendon is so much better now that I've changed what I'm doing. And like I said, my chin-up strength's coming along. And I think the extra compound curl I'm doing helps. Plus just doing them more frequently, I think is really helping here. Because I know that things like my bicep are my limiting factor. Now, I had someone ask, I don't understand why you're doing almost a cheat curl. No, I'm doing a compound movement on the curl because I don't want to isolate my biceps. We've got so much data out there showing that isolating a muscle produces less strength than building the same amount of muscle mass with a compound movement. So if I can turn my curl into a compound movement, it's going to carry over better to my chin-up because that's the goal. The chin-up will be my bicep builder overall, but you know, anything that can help a little extra workload, that's what I'm trying to get out of it as an accessory. But you know, you get really strong on weighted chins and you're going to have biceps. But you know, I'm throwing that in because biceps are just a genetic weak link for me. I really want to get strong at the weighted chin, and so I need to do whatever it takes to get there. That means doing a heavy chin 6 days a week. That means doing a little bit of accessory work if it's necessary for it, because again, I want this lift to get strong. Again, it's just an ego thing, but it's overall a fantastic lift, and it'll carry over to my bench. It'll carry over to my press. It's a good accessory for them also, in addition to just being an all-around good exercise. But that time I got that dead hang. You guys see that? We got a dead hang, didn't we? I don't think anyone can dispute that that was a dead hang. We're using all Rogue plates from a dead hang. Anyone wants to claim that I can't dead hang 90 pounds? Suck it. So that's where we're at there. Pressing today, oh, look at it. You guys see them? Those calibrated 45s. I got a pair of those in today. It took me a while to get those. I've been waiting on them. I'm actually waiting on another bar also. It was back ordered. It finally got mailed to me. Hopefully I'll have it next week. I'll tell you guys later what I got. No, it's not a safety squat bar. I just wanted a better power bar. But we'll talk about that later. So the pressing, went ahead and did my 205. It felt okay. I was debating on how I felt today. Did I want to try to go heavier than the 215? And then I said, you know what? I need to be conservative with this. What did I say earlier this week? I need to be working at 215 and get used to doing 215 as a minimum every day, or at least my 6 days a week after benching, to where it feels comfortable. Then we can increase. But I've got a lot of work to do here, and it's still not comfortable. It's getting really hard later in the week to do the 215 multiple days in a row, especially after benching first. It's really starting to become a grind. So I got it though, but man, it was a little bit of a grind. I mean, not like some of my other PR grinds, but it's again that tricep fatigue. I just have that dull ache that gets in my triceps in the middle of training now after these heavy sets, and it goes away later. It's not like a DOMS or anything, but again, that's part of what goes on with this sort of training, and maybe that's something I need to talk about in a separate video, is the psychological aspects that go with this style of training, because it will teach you a lot about yourself. It'll teach you a lot about your limits. It'll teach you a lot about your mentality. So again, this is a psychologically demanding form of training. And it's funny because you'll see all these people who come in, oh, that's such a lazy form of training. Then coaches who know about it are like, yeah, you are crazy. It is demanding of you compared to a lot of other training styles, and it will make or break you. And again, I'm blessed because I make enough on YouTube that this is now pretty much a full-time living for me. Like I easily pay my bills off my YouTube. I'm not going to go into what I'm making these days, but it's more than enough for rent, a car note, groceries, spending money, things like that. I'm doing just fine. So I'm blessed to be in this situation to where I can get away with this training style right now, and I'm going to make the most of it. I do not want to look a gift horse in the mouth and be lazy about it. I want to say, okay, I'm blessed to be in this situation. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to use it to my advantage, and that's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm training this way, because this style of training is demanding, and not everyone with a full-time job would be able to do what I do. In fact, you probably wouldn't. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.